Welcome everybody to the RGL Invite Highlander Season 7 playoffs. We got 4 teams left in the season. They've played their hearts out through the 7 weeks of the regular season. 4 of them are left competing for the first place prize, very prestigious title, and that sweet prize pool money coming at the end. Today for the match, we have K&D versus Memento Mori. The second and third seeds both could go all the way. They both know they can go all the way as well. So they'll be looking to fight with everything they got. I am Zagron, joined with Rogue by my side, and Dolphin behind the cam as always. Rogue, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Zagron. I'm so excited for this match. As many have noted as the season progressed, many say that this is the match of the season. But you'll notice that these teams are seed number 2 and seed number 3. So, in terms of the way that the playoff bracket is going to shake out, this match has a lot of implications.
Yep, for those of you who aren't caught up or who didn't watch the regular season or just don't know exactly how it shook down, K&D and Memento Mori, second and third seeds. Cuties took the first seed off after going undefeated in the regular season, beating both of those teams. So they have the easier matchup. The last team, Refrigerator, that is not on cast night, but we have the close match. This one should come down to the wire. We got 3 maps for you. It's a best of 3. And yeah, it's going to be a great match tonight, like you said. So with that, we can go and run down the starting rosters real quick here, as we're going to look to get started as soon as they get their last players in. On the K&D side, we have Scythe on Scout, Muma on Soldier, Oblivion on Pyro, Jarrett on Demo, Kresnik on Heavy, Scratchy on Engineer, Zukima on Medic, Boar on Sniper, and Demento on Spy.
And on the side of Memento Mori, we're looking at Triple on Scout, ODB on Soldier, Marty Supreme Toad on Pyro, Giraffe on Demo, Eerie Person on Heavy, Aaron on Engineer, Blake Medic, Fallen Lord Sniper, and Deft Joe on Spy.
Yeah, we got Exile subbing in Blake subbing in for Exile for this match. So that was a change that they decided to make coming in. And we can talk a little bit while these teams get ready. There's a lot of heavy fighting going on in the warm up, which is how we like it. The maps we got tonight, 3 maps. These teams met in the regular season on Swiftwater, where Candy took that one 2-0. We're not playing Swiftwater tonight. We got Product, Upward, and Ashville for you guys. So 2 calls and 1 stopwatch. The pick band shaped up in a way where ended up picking Product, which is not really that big of a surprise considering Candy. We saw them struggle in the regular season on Product. They dropped 3 rounds to Netgraph as a war crime, which is a team that they should not be dropping rounds to. And are looking to exploit that weakness with this first pick.
I do find it interesting as I look here. I would think that Kids Next Door would ban Product first as well, but instead they opt to ban Cascade. So maybe just not quite as familiar with that map, or maybe there was a particularly strong showing from Memento Mori. But I happen to be on Kids Next Door for both their Product match and for their Upward match. I have a little bit of a insider info and a little bit of first-hand experience from both of these maps. But between Product, Upward, and Ashville, I'm going to have to ask for your predictions as aggro.
I'm gonna say that for just the match, the overall match, or for the Product first, so we can go for.
Oh, we could do Product first, I
Yeah,
guess.
we'll start on Product here since we do have this first. Product, I'm gonna say that are going to end up taking this one 4-2. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt because they are obviously more confident on the map. Candy, they've made some changes around, like I said, bringing Zukima on Medic, but I'm not sure if it really is going to be enough to cover their weaknesses. Dropping 3 rounds to Netgraph is a really big deal in terms of like what you're expecting on this map, and Memento Mori thought that was a big enough discrepancy there to just take that right away. So I think they're going to be confident enough, and I think they're going to be able to shut down what makes Candy so good on this map.
Yeah, Zach, I'm looking at the fans, the boys in the lab, running some numbers on stream here, and these numbers are almost dead even. This is a map that these teams have been playing since 2014, 2013, 2012. These players are so seasoned and are going to definitely be giving it their all here, but I don't know. I think I have to edge it maybe. I might even go so far as to say 4-2 in favor of Memento Mori. Or even just today, we happened to have Man Crush Monday making their return, scrimming Kids Next Door, and yesterday scrimming Memento Mori, so I got to play both of these teams on Koth maps, and we happened to go pretty much even with both teams, but I don't know, I think when you put players like Triple and ODB up against, Scythe is a little more heel heavy, Muma is a little bit of a deep goer, I think we're going to see this map go in favor of Memento Mori.
Yeah, and for those of you who are wondering, this is going to be a double elimination playoff bracket. So losing here doesn't mean you're out of playoffs just yet, but a win will guarantee you minimum third seed. So that's going to be a share of playoff money with just one win coming in. So every team going to want to get that one in as early as they can. We can talk about the rosters a little bit, like you mentioned, Scythe triple matchup and the Muma ODB matchup. I'm looking at snipers here as always. You want to do on Project Boar versus Fallen. It's such a volatile sniper matchup because it feels like sometimes one of them is completely popping off, destroying the other. It can go either way. Boar historically has been had Fallen's number, but given the right circumstances, Fallen definitely can pop off and make the map his own.
Yeah, and just a quick note from production here. Don't forget to everyone that since this is playoffs and some of us have beds to get to, this is first of 3 for King of the Hill tonight for both Asheville and Product, not first of 4. Yeah, so
I mean,
anyway,
the teams agreed on 2 hours of stopwatch.
I believe so. I'm certain that we're going to be seeing at least like best of 3 of Upward.
Yeah, that makes sense. So we will be going through a bit faster on the Koth maps, but that's more time to rapid fire off and get done what the teams need to get done if they want these points. And we can sort of allude to the rest of the maps. Obviously, we'll talk about them more when the time comes, but Upward is coming up next, picked by K&D, and then after that is Ashville. Upward's interesting because Candy, they had a bit of a rough time against Cuties, I do believe, on that map, so they were still confident picking it. Either way, we can get in a product real quick as the teams are readied up, so we're going to get going with the initial playoff match of Season 7.
I just noticed that Jarrett took a rollout to Cliff as Giraffe gets to mid first. They're both on about equal health so far. A super deep bomb from Muma landing all the way behind, wrapping onto Cliff. He's making his play around the world, but the rest of Kids Next Door just barrels across the point. Blake, Eerie Person trying to keep themselves alive, keep themselves together, but Muma is spamming them from behind. Kids Next Door is all over the point. Both teams bleeding players back and forth. Eerie Person lucky enough to have as much health as he does. There's only 3 players alive on each side, but now in the 3 versus 2, I guess it's enough to win mid. Triple doesn't quite think so. As a man of 3s himself, based on his alias, he takes it in the name of Memento Mori. And right now, the cap does go down for Kids Next Door, but there's a very scrappy mid-zag.
Yeah, not much Triple can do against that mini sentry going up at the end, but both medics combusted very early at mid. Like you said, both soldiers went behind early, and just a lot of damage happening across both sides. Candy did get that first capture, but Memento Mori are right back out here trying to recontest. Bomb in from Chad, trying to get some damage onto the enemy medic. Blake at 1 HP does manage to surf out, but there's so much damage onto the combo of MM, they're going to have to back up and regroup, and Candy do manage to retain possession of the point, but Zukima was dropped on the way out, so with that, it's going to be an uber advantage for Blake if he can get to spawn here. He's currently behind house with Fallen, Scratchy looking to find anything, going to get killed, and that will be Blake staying alive, but a minute off the clock for Candy so far.
After a mid like that, a minute is nothing to sneeze at, and what Memento Mori wants to do right now is capture this. Joe's the only one on point, Triple finishing off the cap. This is a great collapse from them. Oh, but you have to watch out for Boar. Blake is hiding on the hill. Boar is watching like a hawk playing on this point. They're starting to edge a point, get a bit of capture, and with so many down to Memento Mori, they might have to use when it's maybe 2/3 captured. And there we have it.
Solo Uber here. You're on to Triple, trying to run and find any frags, but he can't get anything done. Not going to find any kills or damage. Going to back off that one. They do get the point, but that Uber was completely wasted, and the spawners are back up. They're going to be looking to retake point 4, opening it up with a snipe onto Marty, although Demento was caught out in the meantime. Point presence had for Candy. Jarrett going to explode to draft Sticky's Triple as well, getting the better of Scythe, and now MM are bombing back in. Zukima's out of there trying to surf for his life. Oh my god, he landed on the crate! If he didn't land on that crate, he craters to damage, but he's going to stay alive there. What a play by Zuki. That's the most precise surf I think I've ever seen to save a medic's life. Holy, and he's going to have a full Uber advantage to work with off it.
Masterful movement. Survives on single-digit health. He was at most 6, but at least 3. I couldn't believe what we have just seen from Zukima.
And if he missed that box, he craters to his death there and loses Uber.
And he has ad. He drops if he dies there. So now they have this 25% Uber advantage. They're trying to work their way back in with Scythe.
Yep, Candy walking up to point now, going to Uber in, Scythe taking the brunt of it, as well as Jarrett doing some damage. A lot of damage in from all members of that Uber. Oblivion as well getting in on it. That's 4 clean kills for that Candy Uber. Flawless repush off of that. They don't get Blake though, so Blake now on 100% Uber as Candy do recapture the point. Blake got forced in the backline, so all that forward pressure paid off for Candy, and this Uber is wasted once again for MM.
It is wasted, but there's so many picks still going in favor of MM. You can just you know, forget it ever happened. Just say, hey, check out my logs. You know, we won this push.
Joe in the back.
This is a good one.
can't find that stab onto Zukima, will lose his life there. But yeah, like you mentioned, they do get that recap. ODB bombs in late, can't find damage either. Zuki at 1 finally gets killed. Aaron gonna take care of him at the end as well. Chad going down to draft Sticky. So MM get exactly what they want on that repush. They get that point captured, and Blake is gonna have another Uber advantage.
Aaron and Triple might be my favorite flank combo in history. Like, these guys, as soon as they start smelling blood, they go in. But, wow, Jacob manages to get Blake as well. I mean, Demento, excuse me. So now with Jarrett and Demento going down, this is a solid enough hold for Memento Mori, but you really don't want to bleed any players. Kresnik and Oblivion know that, working their way across the point. Scratchy Scythe getting some cap time. Looks like this cap is going to go in favor of Kids Next Door, but don't forget, if you have the capture, forget the capture, you need your medic, because Yukima goes down to Joe.
Yeah, too many distractions for Candy have to worry about there. They're flanking him going down the front. They couldn't get healed on point. No one helped with those threats immediately, and then all that distraction, Joe comes in, swoops in for that medic stab at the end there. And Blake is dead again to Demento finding his own trick 2K chain stab. Blake and Giraffe going down, so with the spies doing big work again, it's going to be a recap for K&D, and it feels like the medics are on respawn timers now.
Honestly, Borg getting Fallen Lord here and making enough space for his team to hold this for an extended period of time is going to make a big difference. There's no Ubers for a while, so having no sniper is going to give Borg free reign on this point.
Yep, he's got that Darwin's as well, so Silent Fire doesn't work. Joe gets caught out right before he can get that stab on him, so Boar's still going to be a threat here once he gets healed up. MM already to recontest the point, though. They're at 40% Uber to Zuki's 60, so no one going to have for a bit longer. 1 minute left for each team as Fallen finds the opening onto Kresnik. Now, Muma jumping in, trying to get some damage on Cliff. He does get Draft. Trades for his life. That is a very good pick. Side going down to ODB. Means no scout to edge the point. Zuki on 90%. It's all going to be about this hold.
Yeah, Memento Mori trying to edge this point, but with Zukima coming up on that Uber, he's going to clean house here. The point is pretty captured, and Marty stuffing almost the entire Uber. Supreme Toad manages to get out alive even. Wow. What a play from Supreme Toad. Jarrett getting Fallen Lord with a direct pipe. But look at this. The point stays in favor of Memento Mori, getting the clocks closer still with Blake on full Uber.
That feels like Demento's fifth stab on to draft this game. He's sitting on 22 points, topping the entire game right now. As Candy are looking to get on the point. ODB gets clean up off that bomb. Borg gonna live once again. This time Triple is in with that solo Uber into the enemy main, but again he can't get any frags. It's been a really sad day on Ubers for Triple. Joe does clean up more on the back end with that revolver, so at least that's something to work with. But now Zuki again with a 50% Uber and Candy are repushing. It's 25 seconds on the clock for both teams.
So sad that Uber is a bit ill-advised, Zach. Oh wait, actually Blake is flying through the skies. Wow, Blake does go down to Scythe in the end. So if this doesn't seal it in favor of K&D with full Uber, nothing else will. Right now there's 15 seconds for Memento Mori to come all the way back and force the Uber and get cap time off. Surely there's no way.
It's gonna be about Joe here. What can he find on this decloak? He's looking for Boar right away, but he does get that sniper pick. Now it's a bomb in ODB trying to force that Uber. He does force it, but now MM needs point time. Triple and Aaron are trying to edge it, but they can't stay on it, and that's going to be round one going in the favor of K&D, a chaotic first round, marked with big plays back and forth, but that is the 1-0 lead.
That clock barely went more than 30 seconds apart for both teams. We got a match on our hands!
Yeah, one round in, and it's already looking like a banger. Giraffe first to this mid as well. Gonna get some damage on side, trying to run forward and pressure him. Bomb in here from Muma, trying to get some distraction going in the backline as Joe and Marty drop early. Across the point goes Kresnik, trades for ODB. Erie cleans him up in that backend, but Candy's aggression have gotten them control of the point, although they have lost one extra number.
We're seeing again that Memento Mori is a bit more players, but doesn't have the point presence, so Kids Next Door just decided they want to win these mids. You know, they drop a few players on the way, but they got the point pressure. Oh, never mind. Yeah, they do get a point capture, but let's see. What is it going to be? Maybe 9 seconds off the clock? Ooh, yeah, 9 seconds, so... It was a nice effort on the mid, but this time Memento Mori cleaning up a little better compared to last time.
Yeah, Fallen was left uncontested at the end. He found a big headshot to give his team a firm advantage in that post fight, and MM take that one cleanly. ODB gets caught out on his jump out, so gonna have a long respawn timer as both meds are coming up on Uber. Joe's caught in the backline as well, so Oblivion should be cleaning him up. And that's a two-man disad for MM. Candy probably want to go with up.
I was not so bad buying some time. Muma going deep, trying to make some space before the super goes off. That lets Zukima and Jarrett get all the way across point. Jarrett not quite caught in this Uber. Giraffe just stalling them, staying alive, keeping the point presence down. The flank does go down for Kids Next Door, but the pick classes are down from Memento Mori, so this Uber's anyone's game. The point does go in favor of Kids Next Door, but they're down so many numbers.
Yeah, this time ODB as well dies early, so he kind of evens that out a bit. But do have point presence right now. Kresnik taking a lot of damage in the front line, needs to get arrow tanked. He can also keep his life. Marty goes down to another snipe from 4. And there's Kresnik cleaning up onto Draft. Helps take down Triple as well. So his presence is going to stall the repush for a while. Right now, Eerie tanking a lot of heals on point as Muma goes over his head, gets some distractions, and does get taken down as well as Boar getting stabbed. And it's very low numbers once again for K&D. They're going to have to back up. But need to regroup too. And because the point didn't get capped up, this is favorable for K&D.
Well, let's not forget, if your team has the point, your respawns take longer. So as soon as Kids Next Door takes the point, Memento Mori is going for these fights to get as many picks as possible. And if they don't get it right away, you see now, 20 seconds later, while Kids Next Door is still respawning, Memento Mori has all 9 players ready to go.
Yep, Candy probably aren't that mad about that because they did keep their Uber, and here it comes. Scythe and Jarrett duo across point, gonna force the counter solo onto Draft so far, as Chad going in the backline, takes down Aaron, ODB dropping as well, so flank in the favor of Candy, but triple forward in this Uber does kill Jarrett, gets headshot by Boar and clean up by Scratchy, so good combo to take out that scout player, and now Kresnik is forward on point, fighting Eerie. They end up trading, and that's another, it's even numbers, both teams have 5 players up. Scratchy trying to edge this, but he can't do it alone. Joe as well should find Boar on the backup, can't quite get those shots, and has retained control of the point. Both meds are going to be on 30%.
A lot of heads-up plays from these individual players on Memento Mori, making sure to spam them off, space them out. You know, it was a scrappy fight, but... oh, he still gets Jarrett.
And he gets out alive too. He's going to be able to make another. Oh, never mind. Kresnik gets him right before he gets out. And Candy are re-pushing with this numbers advantage. They're trying to get forward into pocket. Muma dropping and Scythe as well. So no flank for K&D. That's kind of rough for them. They're going to be on long spawners. Speaking of long spawners, falling with that snipe onto Zukima. Very important. Going to give Blake the Uber advantage. And K&D are at a time deficit right now, so it's not looking good for them.
And if you're Memento Mori, you got to get on that capture fast. ODB goes back in behind by himself. Eyeing the heavy, eyeing the pyro, does go down for it, and we're going to see the capture here from Memento Mori, but look how close Kids Next Door is still. They're doing so much damage! Memento gets a pick onto Blake, Marty goes down, Supreme Toad is dead too, so a couple players traded out on the side of Kids Next Door, but they managed to drop Blake with that stab from Demento.
Yeah, that's where all that chaos gets you. If you just contest their push, don't give it to them for free, they have to look forward at you, and a coordinated decloak from Demento is going to even out that medic dissat that they got put on. So now Zuki, with the 25% advantage to work with here, they are at a 25-second dissat, but that's going to get evened up by the time M can get back out here.
If you're Memento Mori, you gotta work fast. It's time to be in already. Boar does get headshot. Zukima's on 60% though. This push takes any longer, Zukima's gonna get by the time Memento Mori starts capping. Looks like they're going to let Zukima get this Uber because he's now on 80%, but look at this, if you're Blake, you're only 40. That's another 50 seconds on the clock.
Scythe's dead again, though, and they're not going to be able to take him in on the Uber to get any damage, so Candy don't have really a good avenue to stop this cap going. It's just going to have to be a solo onto Oblivion. Jarrett as well, taking flashes, trying to get damage. Those the air blast coming in. Big from Oblivion, gets the reflect pipe onto Draft, and that's going to buy his team a lot. It's that Pyro Uber working a lot better than it does for Imposters. Now they're going to try to re-push in. taking a lot of damage. Blake on 85%. They just need to get this, and they'll be able to re-push it.
Supreme Toad, my boy Marty, it's the safest pair of hands you could ask for as medic. With full dishad, Blake walks all the way in with Marty and survives still into that Uber. We did see Syat die earlier, so he wasn't able to be in it, but now look at this. Since Kids Next Door didn't kill Blake on that Uber push, now Blake has full ad. Zukima's on 40%, but there's a minute on the clock.
Muma got one rocket onto Blake, but got killed before he could hit the air shot, falling on a 6k, saving his medic's Uber on that one. Zuki at a 55% dissat. He's going to have to charge up a bit. Both teams ticking into that 40-second timer left. It's going to be another round that comes down to the wire here.
This is when Demento knows it's up to him to make the play. He slides in behind, he's on quite low health, but it's up to him to get this drop because Blake has 100% Uber, Zukima's on 90. Muma trying to go and make some space.
Into his own hands, gets the kill onto Zuki, so no medic going to be for Candy for the rest of the round. And now full Uber for Blake, they just need to walk on point and defend this when it comes time. Candy dropping players as well, Syat and Muma going down. No one is staying alive right now. In the backline goes Demento, but he only gets fallen. That's not the pick you need. Blake with full Uber, it's going to be an easy walk on deny.
Picks in favor of Kids Next Door, but Uber in favor of Memento Mori. Ubering onto Triple and Giraffe.
Good air blast.
Huge frags onto this point. It's so easy for Supreme Toad and Triple. Triple walking all the way into their main. The Giraffe and Supreme Toad clearing out the point. Jarrett and Zukima trying to make their way back in, but it's a bit too little too late. Oh yeah, Oblivion and Syat to make an appearance. But that's all she wrote for this round.
Yeah, Scythe is pretty high on the scoreboard right now for K&D, topping besides the medic, but it feels like he's dead during a lot of inopportune times, so I don't know what's up with K&D, whether or not they need to get people covering their bases a bit more, but that round looked a lot less coordinated than we saw from the first right now, and we are tied up 1-1.
Muma
New
with
mid.
another deep bomb. Oh, it gets denied right away. Even manages to get out on still full health with this bomb.
Yeah, and again, Candy going with the mid where they walk across point. Kresnik leading that charge, and this time they keep their players alive, and that's going to be the point control and the numbers advantage that they didn't have for the previous 2 rounds. Very clean mid for K&D. They changed up their focuses and did very well.
If you're at Mem and you see Kids Next Door for 3 mids now going for super aggro plays and playing on the point which itself is high ground, you kind of have 2 options. You have to either meet them or counter it, right? So they're not really playing the high ground though. They're kind of letting Kids Next Door dictate how these mids are going to go. And the second mid, they happen to get lucky. The third mid, not so lucky. But this time, big bomb on from ODB. They do for Zukima, and Blake has his 100% Uber onto Giraffe.
Yep, Oblivion looking for a flash at the end to air blast, but he's not going to get one. Pipes going into pocket. 2 great pipes from Giraffe. Take down Jarrett. No power air blast denying that one. And that's going to be a numbers advantage to work with for the side of MM as Jarrett, Boar, and Muma go down late. So respawners need to come in soon, but Candy are going on to point. They know they have to fight forward, otherwise they're going to push back. There was Oblivion walking to the enemy combo to do damage, but he gets killed before he can get much. And Candy, they're only 5 up right now. They're still trying to get what they can. Kresnik gets taken down. Zuki surfs out once again into pocket on board. Oh, but he gets taken down Joe with that revolver cleanup in the end, and that contest from Candy did not go well. Now it's MM with the point and a 50% ad.
It's not a bad contest from K&D. They did buy another 20 or so seconds on the clock, which you take those, but not at the price of your medic,
yeah,
right?
The medic.
You know, Blake 70% advantage.
Yeah, that's a big thing for them to work with, and it is a 40-second ad for K&D right now in this time, but Blake's going to be up on Uber, and one good defense will even that out in a jiffy. Fallen getting the opening pick onto Muma, as well as Demento dropping to the Rockets of ODB, so already a 7v9 for K&D. They're trying to edge point here. Joe going to be walking across point, calling out their every move, and there's the Uber in from MM. They're jumping in bombers as well as putting triple in, and that's amazing damage and cleanup coming in from the flank players of MM. Everyone goes down, including Zukima, Jarrett as well, so that's going to be a good reset for MM, considering they get Blake out alive here.
I was very curious that they commit Zukima to this full disad push onto the point, but what do I know about playing meta for Kids Next Door, Zach?
Either way, we're going to be in here for this refresh. Candy going at it dry, just trying to get the capture up at the cost of some spawn timers. They want to keep their players alive, and they will do that with ODB getting reflected. Scythe on an 18-second spawn timer, though, so MM, when they get this 65% Uber, they're going to want to push on point here.
That pick on the triple is so great. Look at this. Fallen opening it on Oblivion, and Joe getting a stab onto Zukima. They're all crumbling. It's Agrod. Where are they going?
Yeah, they can't find any frags here. They're trying to bomb, get anything they can onto Blake, and they do in the end find the headshot for getting that one to even out the disad. But in the meantime, Zuki is just started charging, so the advantage is going to be minimal. And that with that, the timer's going to tick into even.
I'll be back in a second. I'm going to ask Board to assign my sniper rifle, if you'll give me a minute.
Yeah, finding that clutch shot really is going to give his team some chance back into this round. Timer is even, MM with the point, but Zuki's small advantage. It's likely going to turn to another dry push here, where DM and focus is what matters.
I've kind of even numbers here, even positioning here. Jarrett going down to Fallen Lord, but then Muma trying to equalize, going for a super deep bomb behind, getting 2 rockets onto Blake.
Ooh, Blake's out of there.
What a surf from Blake onto the house and through the house now, working his way back to point.
Yep, he gets out of that one cleanly. Zuki on 70%, but he's lost 4 players already, so it's going to be Scythe, Oblivion, and Jarrett here to do all the work. Mini being wrangled is a pretty big annoyance for that scout. Going to need to get some stickies on those as fast as possible. Zuki 95%, bomb in, gets reflected by Oblivion, so they're going to keep that player alive. 4 goes down to ODB in the meantime, and now it's going to be Uber in. Jarrett and Scythe trying to find whatever they can, but there's nothing to find. It's just the fist heavy, and they can't even chase him down. We're going to find a consolation frag onto ODB, but all of MM's players... Oh, but that's it! Booma in the backline, triple and Blake. Those kills are imperative to their standing in this round. With that play, Muma has secured his team some more time.
Muma was on his last rocket, lands on Blake and triple. What an incredible play.
Yep, here's the counter bomb from ODB trying to find something. Only 1 rocket was got off, and with that, Demento going to kill Fallen as well. So, sack unsuccessful for MM. With that, they're going to lose their time advantage that they gained off of that long hold. So, now Zuki 70% to Blake's 20. You see Giraffe get sniped as well, so that's going to buy them a bit more time even.
Yeah, that's not what you want to see when there's less than a minute left on the clock. You have time for one more Uber.
Oh, but
look
the
at
counter
that.
demo snipe.
Claps back with another demo pick of his own.
Yep, Zuki now 100% Uber. He's got Scythe and he's got Oblivion with him here. Going to try and deny this point. Solo onto Scythe now, trying to find whatever damage he can. But the backline isn't looking good. Blake gets stabbed by Demento, fallen as well. So that chain stab is going to buy his team a lot of space. But Scratchy, Jarrett, and Boar have gone down in the meantime. So MM are re-pushing with these numbers, trying to get whatever damage they can. But Kresnik and ODB clean him up. Demento, a third stab in the fight, this time onto the full health heavy. And now it's just a scuffle at the end. Scythe can't get the kill onto the enemy scout, but Boar gonna take down the Dome Man in the meantime. Demento with that revolver cleaning up what he can. Boar a second kill onto Joe, and it's chaotic back and forth. MM did get the cap, but Candy have the numbers.
That's what we like to see from Memento Mori. You know, they drop their med, they're disad, they're losing this point already, so you just go and get as many kills as you can, and they do stall some time off the clock because are not all the way set up yet. You have time for one push at 15 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, this is the pause. This is not the good pause. It means they paused after this round. So someone has trouble after this. We're going to see the ending of this round shortly for you guys. Ignore the timers. They're going to tick down. Assessing the state of the game real quick, because I'm hoping this is going to be a quick pause. Both meds 50% Uber. So I'm not sure if any of them are going to get before the game ends. I do believe if the point gets contested, we're going to have another Uber exchange.
Correct, especially if we see Memento Mori able to capture this point, then we might have time for both medics to get an Uber exchange. It is anyone's game here, but you have to climb so much from the low ground, from the high ground if you're Memento Mori, so it's likely in the favor of Kids Next Door, I would say.
Yeah, and another viable play for K&D here is they know that they have point, they're going to have Uber. If they just get kills and then let Zuki live and kite out successfully, then they're going to put the opposing players on a longer spawn, and they can just re-push with their Uber. So all K&D need to do is get this Uber and don't lose too many players.
Yeah, you said it exactly right. You have to make almost two mistakes if you're Kids Next Door, not even just one. So they're in the driving seat of this hold. They have Boar buffed up on the rock, locking down the sight lines. Memento Mori is so far behind still for the amount of ground they have to cover, especially for not having an Uber.
Yeah, no one's really in position for them either. We see Eerie just getting to Cliff now, all the other players walking from behind house, and I don't see Joe anywhere, but the spy's not in position, not going to be able to find the sniper pick. That would give them an easy chance. So it's going to have to come down to the wire for MM.
It's a bit likely that I think ODB might be opening up, breaking open this position where he's going to go for another one of those deep bombs, and the rest of Memento Mori follows after. It'll be especially nice if he does manage to get one of those big picks, like he sometimes manages to get someone like Syath or even Oblivion on some of these super aggro early bombs, where if you're a soldier, you can distract the enemy team just so they don't shoot at your teammates. Even if you go in and shoot no rockets, if you get Kids Next Door to turn around right now, Memento Mori has a perfectly clear yellow brick road all the way to the point.
Yep, and we are still waiting this pause for you guys. Sorry, there's not that much more to talk about because we are just, excited for this round to play out. It's currently 1-1 tied between MM and K&D in this playoffs first round match. And this round's going to put whoever wins this round goes on map point because we're playing first to 3 on Koth.
And this map was picked by Memento Mori, and so far it seems to be a bit in favor of Kids Next Door. Honestly, these teams have been so evenly matched for this entire match we've seen so far. No one particularly weak, no one even particularly strong, but I think the difference maker is that Kids Next Door has been so dominant on these mids, where even the mid that they lost, it was so scrappy and so long and drawn out that they were able to come back so quickly. So if you're Memento Mori, keep doing what you're doing, but please win more mid fights.
Yeah, a lot of things that weren't in the mid-fight contention is just a lot of coin flip plays where teams have just gone all out. They've been going back and forth. It feels like K&D have had a lot of really clutch picks by Demento to give them openings into fights that they may not win otherwise. So, if they can keep getting these plays off of their individual players, then we'll probably see them take this round and maybe even the next. But in the meantime, we wait for this unpause. Anything we can look at here for one of the unpause? You said ODB probably going to bomb in aggressively. I see Fallen's peeking a house angle where he is going to have either Oblivion or Scythe in his sightline soon. A pick on either of those two would be great for contesting point.
Yeah. I also am thinking about... Yeah, it's so unfortunate that Joe on Spy for Memento Mori is down as well. And it looks like actually Demento is stuck behind. Ah, you're right. Well, he's not, he's behind the wrong team.
Yeah, he's not in.
He's like, hey, you guys look a little bit familiar. But Demento is in a spot watching the spawners and keeping an eye out for who's coming in and when. So he's even going to know that the Demo Man is the last one with a late buff. So a lot of moving parts here.
Yeah, Demento is going to be a key player watching this fight as well, because when all of the MM players have to look for on the point, that's very little going to be looking for that spy, and he knows no one besides Giraffe is left in that spawn room, so there's going to be no one behind him. I wonder what the pause is for. Oh, speaking of, it's gone. Here comes the push. The timer is not correct. There's still about 20 seconds left for MM before this round goes in favor of KD. They're going to look to go up behind point. Now they're walking out onto the porch. Snipe isn't hit by Boar. Bomb in from Muma, trying to do some damage, and he takes down Blake early in the fight. Counter from ODB gets reflected. He doesn't find the same picks. Drop very low on point. Gets killed by pipes from Jarrett. Muma as well finding the kill onto Fallen. And there's Demento coming in with the stab onto Eerie. It's a solo Uber onto side. He just needs to find cleanup with Oblivion, and that is the clean hold from Candy. That's pretty much what we were expecting. And all they need to do is recap this. Long spawns in for MM.
Kind of the MVP of that fight was Triple, who was able to get so much cap time on the side of Memento Mori, but unfortunately, like you mentioned, Demento going for those huge plays, knows when his team needs it most, and manages to kill Eerie Person. So another point in favor of Kids Next Door. We're looking at a 2-1 on product.
Yeah, we're back in for the potentially last round. If Candy takes this, MM need to take it in order to equalize on their own map. New mid rolling out. Another early bomb in here from Muma. What else would we expect? As they're walking across point, Kresnik going right side, Eerie going left. Demento in early trying to get some stabs but can't find anything. Although Scythe finally making that big play. Takes down Blake and Eerie on that mid. Aggression well rewarded. Zuki needs to stay alive now. He does manage to get it with the help of Oblivion. Capping in the favor right now of MM, but a snipe from Boar is going to turn that around. And that's another clean mid from Candy, really making the difference in the end. Here comes Joe, bit too late. Doesn't find anything.
Man, ODP did so much work on that mid, did 100 damage to Boar, 100 damage to Zukima, 100 damage to Jarrett, 100 damage to Scythe, but not able to clean anyone up. Now, Triple working his way onto the point. Zukima does use his full ad Uber. Blake happened to show, but Triple escorts Blake out safely and efficiently. And now, Jarrett going down after that Uber. This gives an ad to Blake and also point presence in favor of
Fallen. Snipes
Memento
onto
Mori.
Jarrett and Scythe. Demo's scout picks are massive, and the point never got capped up for Candy, so with those picks, MM are going to be able to re-push here. Muma trying to go in again in the backline. He's going to get chased down and sussed out. There's Joe getting stepped onto Boar, so Candy have very little to work with. Another snipe from Fallen, that's his third of the fight onto Kresnik, demolishing that Candy combo. And the first cap of the round goes to MM there.
We saw this a lot in the warm-up scrims against Muma, where when Muma would bomb behind, if he had too low health, he would even rotate to the enemy team's spawn so that people would think it's a waste of time to go back. ODB does clean him up, and Blake lives to see another day with his advantage.
Early bombing here from ODB, trying to find some damage. Does chip Zukima down a little bit and then gets out. So it's all about this re-push here. Another bomb from Muma. What else do we expect at this point? Blake gonna get dropped to Boar's snipe. That's a full Uber drop, and Candy are looking for this push now. They gotta keep Zuki alive. He's at 90%. There's 100. ODB can't get the rocket on. Gets reflected by Oblivion. And now they just need to recap, and they want to keep this Uber if they can, but it is free for the next few seconds.
When the Memento Mori lose their med, they're just barreling forward towards point, delaying, seeing how many spawns they can get while the enemy team has worse respawners. Zukima does live perfectly well, has 100% Uber.
Fallen finds his 5th kill of the fight, dropping Zuki in exchange. Oh, that's a disaster if you're K&D. You finally got the point for the first time, you're down a minute, and now you're at Uber to sad.
Now, Memento Mori do have quite the time advantage here, and Boar goes down to Joe. This is a green light. Look at this. Triple working his way in. A little cheeky little mini from Scratchy doing some extra damage. Aaron working his way through Concrete. Muma onto Blake. Does get the pick.
Clutch pick in there from Muma. ODB gonna respond with a rocket onto Jarrett, and a pipe from Giraffe takes down Scythe. So Candy's combo is kaput once again. They just have Pyro, Medic, NG in this back right. They're gonna walk back to spawn with that one. Even though they dropped their Medic, MM aren't gonna be too bent out of shape about that one, because they're still gonna have this point, and they're still only gonna be at a small disad.
Just watch ODB wait for like 9 seconds for an hour from his dead Medic. Unfortunate. Hate to see it, but very good patience.
Yep, and here's another rollout from K&D. They're going to probably try and dry push this. We got another bomb in from Muma. What else? He's going to make it to the pack. Doesn't make the pack. ODB actually is waiting for him on it. Takes it down. And speaking of taking down, Joe with another stab onto Zuki, getting that Medic back into his favor. But on the other side, 2 pipes from Jarrett have taken down Blake. Medics have been a walking respawn timer this round, although K&D do have the numbers and the spawn advantage, so they're going to be able to recap for now.
Well, Boar gets a little bit too greedy. It goes down to the beginning of this fight, so Memento Mori is going to get most of their spawns before the sniper is in play. So if you're MM, you got to go in and you got to go now. Even if you're these players waiting for your medic, but you got to start taking the space and making some room, making some plays. Jarrett's very deep across point, getting some early damage out. Triple trying to work his way through. Now Giraffe and Blake making their way through main onto Jarrett. But look at this, a snipe from Fallen on Kresnik, a stab from Joe on board. This is a point capture.
Yep, tons of pick classes going off for MM, getting all those picks, and they're going to be able to recap this cleanly.
And gets the pick.
Yep, going to get that crater as well to finish off kill, and Blake going to have a 60% Uber ad to work with. Point capped up for MM, they're at a 20-second advantage as well, with only one player needing a respawn, so very good repush from MM. Candy just crumbling to pick classes, then they don't have enough to back out, so very good push for MM, going to be at a firm advantage in this round.
Whoa, and hot snipe from Boron to Fallen Lord. So now if your kid's next door, how do you force a Blake? That's the name of the game.
Like that, you get Memento and you get Muma on him, and then it'll be lickety split, you get that one off. ODB gonna bomb in, get a kill with the Scythe, ODB as well dropping, so, you know, they lost their players that they sacked for, but that's an overall win if you are Candy. Now, this is a bit too much, they drop Boar, he's gonna be on a respawn timer, and they have to back out here. ODB in, trying to get some rockets, gets cleaned up, good reflect by Oblivion, on a 7-count Pyro, surprisingly, so they have 3 picks to work with here.
Yeah, there goes the 7k from Fallen Lord getting a snipe. Muma going in behind, launching Fallen Lord into the sky.
Yeah, only gets 2 kills before his reign of terror is ended, but still, Fallen doing so much work this match.
Now full added in favor of Tsukima, but there's only 23 seconds on the clock for Memento Mori compared to a minute and a half now for kids next door, so Blake has to get in here clean with this Uber, but it's a bit in favor, especially with ODB making this room.
Yep, Zuki does have 100% advantage Uber to Blake's 80. There's a bomb from Muma, gets a rocket onto Blake, a lot of damage, but no one can get in to clean up off it. Scythe gonna try and chase down Giraffe here. Gonna, get stickied out, so Scythe can't get that one. Giraffe on a 5k of his own, stays alive, and now Candy here down 4. They don't get anything in that Uber. Triple's gonna be respawned, and it's not looking good for them as Blake now is 100% Uber.
Yeah, that bomb from Muma was a little bit early, and that almost reminded Blake that it wasn't a good idea to be so in. So he gets out to hide from Muma before Scythe could even get the kill on him. So now Giraffe, ODB flying in, Joe on the back lines. They get a kill on the board, Demento goes down. This full ad was not so bad from Memento Mori, but they don't have the point captured just yet.
Shout out to Jarrett, who just bottled Joe in the backline. They're going to try and keep as many people alive as they can. Zuki living on 50 HP with that 60% Uber, so the time is taking it to even as MM didn't actually cap yet. They went too far without capping that up. There's Muma, or excuse me, Muma in the front line, going to get arrowed, stays alive. Mini Sentry gets taken down as well by Kresnik, so MM looking a bit worse for wear here. Their health is bad. Eerie needs some help. He needs an arrow. Scythe on the point, dueling that spy as Triple finds the kill onto ODB. Look at Joe doing so much work with the revolver. Going to take down Boar as well. And Boar he snipes down Marty before he dies, but that's such a big distraction from Joe, and his team's gonna retain point control.
As long as it keeps up that pressure, at some point it's gonna work, and wow,
they
1-2 combo onto Joe.
Yeah, a headshot and a meat shot. Not much you can do about that. Uber's a bit late to save him. And with that, Giraffe is the only casualty in the Uber. It's a big one, though, from Scythe to get that Demo Man pick. Gonna neutralize it this side, but Triple is in here with that Uber, trying to get the kill into Tsukima. Takes him down with ease. Clean up in here. ODB and Triple combining for 4 kills on point. Fallen, finding another SES into Boar. And the round should be over here. It's just Muma needs to get cleaned up here. I believe he gets headshot. Fallen's railing him off at this point. Blake dies to Demento, but it doesn't matter. We are tied up at 2-2 here on product. Golden cap. Next round wins the map.
Let's see what Memento Mori can do on this mid. Is it going to be another dominant, overpowering mid from Kids Next Door, or Memento Mori going to put their flag on the top of this hill?
We'll have to see. It's a bit of a different rollout. Giraffe went pretty slow to kept his heals. Speaking of, both Demo Man immediately get sniped. If that's not Highlander on product, I don't know what is. We're going to be at a Demo Man-less mid. We see a lot of kills, Triple and Fallen, ODB, Joe all getting 1 apiece, and K&D are rolled right now. They got to back up. Erie's the only trade and casualty this late into the fight. Kresnik going down late as well. Joe and Fallen get a combined 5 kills in that mid. Pick classes for MM going ham.
Look, they nailed it, Zagron. I'm so happy to see it, right? Memento Mori lost 1 player to Kids Next Door 6. Okay, this time they realize if they want to push across point, like they want to feed Kresnik across, they want to have Jarrett do early damage, fine, we'll stay alive and just churn everyone who comes across the point, eat them alive. And now Memento Mori wins that mid convincingly.
Yep. Fortunately for Candy, Zuki stayed alive, and they're going to have Uber. See Chad getting that kill onto Joe, so man advantage to work with. Health going lower and lower as Candy do Uber in, and they pick off Aaron and Eerie before they can get flashes. It's going to be a solo Uber onto Draft, Triple finally gets a flash, but no frags coming in for that Uber. Demento's still the only casualty of the fight. Cleanup crew coming inside, getting ODB on his jump out, getting a lot of damage for Draft as well, taking down Scythe on a 4K with his chase down. Bomb in from Muma trying to get anything else, but either way, that is a clean fight. Oblivion sniped on the back end, so he's gonna have a long spawn timer, but very good play from Candy overall.
That was such a good Uber from Zukima and Syath, where they got in so deep and milked it just long enough where Syath got 2 picks before the Uber even started, really. And now Blake, you know, the point of the defensive Uber is to keep players alive, right? So now they're working their way back in with the better spawns. They do get 2 picks on the classes of Kids Next Door.
Speaking of picks, Fallen with that 5th snipe of the round gets 4 as well. Giraffe taking out Scythe with those stickies. Jarrett going down to Aaron and Triple, that hit scan combo. And just like that, the drive push is incredibly successful for They just focus down targets like that. And that's going to be a point recapture for them. They're 30 seconds in the lead, and they're going to have a small, about 15-20% advantage to work with.
Memento Mori's waking up here. That was such a strong showing from this push. They push at the exact same time, get so many picks. The spawns are better for Kids Next Door now, so Kids Next Door trying their own. ODB going down early is not what you want to see, but the Uber comes out onto Giraffe. Zukima's on 90%, 92%. He plays alive. Jarrett does go down. Triple's chasing Kresnik. There's so much damage going on in main on the side of Kids Next Door. Zukima now on 20 health gets the Uber off, but there's so many players down on both teams here.
Triple was so close to getting 2 or 3 big frags, but he only found 1 at that moment. It took down Demoman. The repush came in from Candy. Scythe got the cleanup that he needed himself. Triple got 2 at the end, but it was a bit too late as he gets cleaned up by the enemy scout. And Candy, recap it, please. ×3, thank you. And that's the cap up for K&D. They're down a minute in time, and they're down about 30% in Uber, so it's a bit rough for them on this defense, but they're going to be able to hopefully try and dry push, maybe get some picks. Speaking of picks, here's Demento in the backline. Look and see what he can find.
If you're Memento Mori, you heal up Fallen, you heal up Triple, you wait for 1 pick.
There's Fallen,
pick on the Chad, I guess. That's not quite enough to explode yet. Scythe, that's
now the scout down, yeah. Mini Sentry doing work. Demento finally going to take down the menace that is Fallen Lord, ending his kill streak. First out of the round, but Uber is in here from getting people into the back line. ODB gets arrowed down by Zuki, but Giraffe went in with that distraction, gets 3 big sticky kills onto the combo. Joe finishing off that combo with a revolver kill. Very clean repush from They're looking very good on product.
Super heads up play from Supreme Toad where he goes onto the enemy team's concrete just to lock out the flank while that fight's happening, and then comes back in time to find the spy. This man does it all.
Yep, Marty, very good pyro, probably one of the best, if not the best we have in the league, showing his worth. Right now he's on concrete, finding that pressure, gonna get out. Mini Sentry backing him up. It is, Fallen, another early pick onto Jarrett, so no Demoman's gonna make things incredibly hard. ODB is so good at jumping in and then just jumping out without losing too much HP. He gets a rocket off every time, takes Muma very low as well. He's gonna have to get a pack on that one. And Candy, they're not grouped up yet. Zuki gets revolvered by Joe. That's a play that a spy with good aim can make. Although on the other side, Demento has traded onto Blake with a backstab, so there's the brain segment of it. Fallen, another pick onto the combo of K&D, and it's a bit of a DM fest right now as no one's going to have Uber anytime soon.
The spawns are in favor of Kids Next Door, but oh, what a nice snipe too from Boar. We're doing so much work on this map as we love to see these snipers on product, and Fallen Lord here's my prayers.
Fallen decided he's going to win.
I'm at the church. I'm praying to the church of the Fallen Lord.
Be risen right after this one. One last push from Candy, then trying to walk forward. Oblivion gets a lot of damage, but taken down. He kills Fallen, actually, so a worthy sacrifice, but it is in vain. Very convincing third round from They take their map pick 3-2, and they're going to be up a map in the series here.
Man, Memento Mori woke up halfway through that game, especially when they turned that mid around. It was a lot more convincing for them. They got so much time off the clock, so much pressure across the point. Their repushes are clean. Their picks are so hot from Fallen Lord, from Joe, from everyone really. ODB making so much space. Kids Next Door put up such a fight, especially on these mids, were so clean and dominant, and it was a real nail biter there. But it does go in favor of Memento Mori in the end for map 1.
Yeah, every round really came down to the wire there. I actually want to see the combined logs so I can see the round timers. I'm guaranteed we're going to have like nearly 6 minutes on all of them. So yeah, very close. It does go 3-2 for the home team, and in the end, that 1 point on the scoreboard in that BO3 is all that really matters. So going to be happy they took their own map, because now they have a bit of a rough one ahead of them. But for now, we can look at these logs real quick. Jesus, Fallen, 43 and 21, top fragging the server.
Wow, those are some scout
474
numbers.
DPM. Yep, scouts as well, both putting up 38 and 37 frags. Triple only dying 16 times while doing it. 370 DPM as well, so The key classes on Koth and Highlander in general that you want to go off, Memento Mori have them in spades. We got Triple, we got Fallen, all doing tons of damage. The Demo Man discrepancy also was pretty apparent. We don't talk about the kills because Demo Man kills isn't really as important as the damage. 450 for Giraffe, 390 for Jarrett. It's a 60 difference. It's somewhat big. It's not that big, but he does have a big kill advantage and a big death advantage as well. So really, MMs, all their key pieces popped off in that to keep them in the game and eventually give them their map.
Yeah, whoa. Giraffe getting 20 more kills than Jarrett. I wouldn't have even guessed that watching the game, but Fallen Lord kind of had Jarrett's number in a lot of these crucial moments. Although I'm looking, it looks like only just 2 picks from Fallen Lord onto Jarrett, but regardless, I have an interesting statistic for the folks at home as we talk about the medics chilling in the respawn cabinet the entire game. Both spies got 6 kills. The soldiers got about 5 kills. Both scouts got 2, snipers got 2, demos got 1. So med picks going back and forth across the board from both teams. But yeah, like you had mentioned, I'm really looking at people like Triple has 10 less deaths than Syath on scout. The sniper difference was massive. The demo difference was huge. I mean, this is credit to both teams for how coordinated they play for it to stay so close. But these players are what put it in favor of Memento Mori.
Yeah, it's and like some of the differences, like the Doman difference isn't really that big in context because Doman frags, it's whatever he got the last sticky on the cleanup. The damage is 60, that's something. It's not, everything. And the scouts, yeah, 10, that's a lot, but you're also on the losing team and you got even frags for cleanup. And again, you only lost for 60 DPM. So there is a difference, but it's not overwhelming. It's not like MM won because they were this DM monster where all their players were hitting every shot. They won because they pulled it together in the end and actually made their pushes and kites work out very well. So they just really pulled it together at the end there. There's not really much else to say because we can talk about stats all day, but in game they looked clean.
Yeah, they sort of warmed into this match, right? Especially we talked about some of the mids and we talked about some of these recommits, and there's so many picks going back and forth, so many point captures, so many Ubers, ads, disads. It was kind of the clockwork that we understand the meta of Team Fortress 2, right? But once Memento Mori kicked it in gear, they were able to seal the deal. So we'll have to see now if they'll keep it up on this payload since we're on a different format here.
Yep, we're moving over to Ashville for all you folks. Next map, this is picked by KND. Very signature map for them. Did I say Ashville? I meant Upward. Ashville's our third map. So we're going to be on Upward. Signature map for KND. They do a lot of good work on this map. And I'm going to go and take a look at the regular season performances because if I do remember correctly, they actually had trouble here with the cuties on this map.
Yeah, I wonder how that happened. That's crazy.
Yeah, Cuties ended up taking down KND, and KND still picked it. They still think they have a big advantage over MM, which I would agree on. I think they're still, bar Cuties, which is debatable. I think they're the best upward team in the league, and I do think they're going to be very happy to play this map into MM.
I was being a little facetious with you, Zagron, because I was on Kids Next Door for the Upward match against Cuties, and this is the match that got me cut from KND. So we did in that match lose in a kind of close fashion, and Kids Next Door is classically, historically very, very strong on this map, but I guess we couldn't quite figure it out while I was there. This is a playing on with Zukimon Minik that they've had before back in season 5 is going to be much more familiar for them as well. So this hopefully should be a little bit more in their favor, but with some of these strong showings we've seen from Memento Mori already, I'd say it's a pretty close game.
I do think it'll be closer than we would expect normally from a KND upward team. But if I was to give my prediction, I would still say 2-1 KND. I think they practice this map more, and I think they know how to play it better, where it should end up going in their favor and equalizing us here. MM obviously going to want to prevent that and make it a short day. A quick 2-0 would be everything that they've ever dreamed of. Set them up for that upper bracket finals against Cuties. But they have a tough hurdle to overcome.
Yeah, that was sort of the name of the game coming into this match, right? Is that Kids Next Door must win Upward, because we saw King of the Hill going into favor of Memento Mori for the first map, and we're going to another King of the Hill on the third map. So I don't know, it might favor them yet again.
Yeah, we can talk about that more when and if it comes. So that third map would be Ashville, another Koth map, like you're saying. I think that I personally think it would be close, like more Candy favored than Product would be. But again, we can talk about that if it does come to it. As of right now, we are waiting for the last players to join the server, just 2 for KND, 1 for MM. Do you have a prediction for this map, or are you going to go similar to what I said?
I agree with you. I do think it's 2-1 for Kids Next Door, but to be a true, like a probabilistic approach of this, I think the odds are closer to like, you know, like something like 1.7 KND, 1.3 Memento Mori. So I do think both teams will get around, but you know, there is a solid chance for Memento Mori to take a 2-1 win on this map and win the first round of playoffs here.
Yep. Who knows? We could see that Fallen pop-off continue and he just goes absolutely ham and MM take this handily, but we'll never know until we actually see that game played out. That's why we watch it. As we do wait for the teams to ready up, we do have an update from the other match going on in quarterfinals, the Cuties versus Refrigerator. Refrigerator's actually up 2-1 on Cuties, the team that went undefeated in the regular season. Word, though, is that Sandblast was not present. Their main scout was absent for the first 2 rounds. They got him back and they won the round, so we'll have to see how that develops going on later into the night. But if Refrigerator can pull off that upset, that would be insane for the scope of playoffs. One map probably it would be interesting to look at, but if they can win that match, ooh, that'd be interesting.
I can't help but cheer for my boy Casper, one of my, I spent some time mentoring him over the past few seasons, but honestly at this point he's mentoring me on Refrigerator, so I'm cheering for him every day of the week.
And we wish them luck in that matchup as well, but Cutie is a very tough team, not going to go down without a fight, so tuning back into this match right here, looks like it's going to be Candy starting on offense once that rate up comes through, MM on defense. So anything you want to look for going into this initial setup, anything you think might be the same, anything might be different, anything to look out for going into Upward?
You know what, Zach? This is going to be one of those kinds of matches where both of these teams have played it so long and so much. I think his next door is going to be much better tuned into that clockwork and just be a little bit ahead of Memento Mori on each of these steps, on each of these transitions. But you know what's going to happen is Memento Mori is going to have that one opening, that one drop onto Tsukima that they suddenly just rolled 2 points, and then suddenly they get 3 points in the span of 2.5 minutes or something like that. So keep your eyes out for these huge steamroll types of plays.
Yeah, Upward is always a map prone to those snowball plays where teams can just take point after point in a matter of seconds, and that can be really damning to a team's chances, especially if it happens early on. And it will be K&D first to try and see if they can get that going.
I did say before, oh no, never mind. I was looking at the odds again, and the odds are pretty close in favor of just barely edging out to Kids Next Door, which we're echoing here as the casters. It looks like as well for just to note that Memento Mori is defending first, and Kids Next Door is attacking. Some would advise that it's a bit better to defend first. That way, once the time is set, when you're on offense now, do we need to make big plays and take risks, or can we play our own game and go slow based on whatever time is on the clock? But at the same time, if you're Kids Next Door now, you get to make a couple mistakes. You get to fail a couple pushes, you get to drop a couple players, you get to have not good card time, and then you work on it later. So there's pros and cons to both starting points. So hopefully it does work out for them.
Yeah, I feel like I have this discussion every time I cast K&D on stopwatch, where it's always a question, do you think it's better to start on offense or defense? And while a lot of people would say defense is better because you know what you have to push into, I always make the argument that I think K&D setting the pace is better for them as a team because of how they're able to call pushes together. And I don't think it matters if they are on offense or defense first. I think they have the ability to make plays that can make up the difference. And when you attack first, if you can get that knockout blow early, it's really damning to the other team's chances and disheartening for them. So again, you can argue either way, but I always think that K&D with the choice would choose to attack.
Yeah, I like that approach as well. I'm super interested, especially because we have some strong engineers on this map too. Aaron and Scratchy are both fantastic, keeping their guns alive on defense, knowing when to back out. They're keeping up so much card time on offense. I played with Aaron for the past 2 seasons, like last season and the one before. I'll just blink and the card is halfway towards the next point without even thinking about what's going on over there. So I'm excited to see how well these card pushes perform, especially as we know Scythe, classically a very strong beam scout, a combo scout, which I'd say he's obviously the best of the best when it comes to playing tight with their combo in Highlander for many of the recent years. So with him having to. So with him having to play a bit onto the cart, you know, KidsXO are going to have to come up with some other ideas to break through.
Yeah, that's actually a thing that I hear the Candy players when I'm in Mumble them they talk about sometimes is on payload. Sometimes whenever they're preparing for a week, they say, wait, who should we have on cart? Because we want Scythe with us, right? And if Scout's not on cart, then who is? And you know, they do adapt differently, so we'll have to see what they want to do. It'll probably be similar to what they did in their upward match against Cuties, maybe a few changes here and there. But with that, both teams have readied up. We're ready to get into this round. MM on the defense, KD on the offense. One more map is all MM needs to close out this match. We're gonna see how it goes.
KidsXO are going to go for a sacrifice play, sending in Muma, is just barely distracting Eerie Person, and actually no sacrifice coming in yet. Jared just walking on the floor with his legs as he goes down for it. Demento is in a bit of a forward position, but gets caught out by Marty right away, so nothing going for KidsXO just yet.
Boar's super forward on the roof. He's going to get rocketed off onto the low ground, so he can rocket from ODB to give his sniper that height advantage going forward. Joe ends up falling off the cliff. I don't know how that happened. I think that might have been a kill bind, but Fallen with that early kill. Here's the real sack from what it looks like. ODB and Triple combining for a bunch of kills. Another finish off kill for Eerie, getting that mini as well, and there's Fallen the ending snipe onto Kresnik. So sack doesn't go well for K&D. They don't find anything besides, you know, Joe who killed himself, but with that we should be getting ready for the real push here.
This is a bit of a K&D kind of secret, right? Get the cart up before you sack. This way you can go in right away as soon as your players are back up. You don't have to leave people on the cart, right? So now Zukima does commit, sticking on Jarrett here, waiting to use in. There's a bit of a trap from Giraffe, but Jarrett walks past it. They use the Uber off.
Yeah, the exchange going forward here. We do see flashes onto Giraffe and Marty. They're going to both stay alive, as Scratchy's the only casualty so far. Got sniped out by Fallen. That's a car pusher down, and not much kills or damage going off either side. We're going to have a bit of a soft reset here, as no one's really been displaced from their positions. Here's another bomb in from Muma over the top. They do manage to get kills onto Boar and Demento, but Jarrett is a trade. Getting stickied by Giraffe on that one, so now it looks like MM are going to choose to back off. Fallen died as well, and their gun went down, so they're going to be okay with that. You know, they get their medic out. Unfortunately for them, Aaron and Fallen dying means their defense setup is going to be a bit slower, so K&D, they're going to be okay with that. You know, nothing too groundbreaking happening so far.
Oh, man. Memento Mori kept up all 9 of their players in that Uber, but then Muma is in and in and in. Even when Eerie gets Muma off the playground, Muma comes back 8 seconds later, gets Eerie, gets the dispenser to clear off that defensive little shield, gets Aaron as well, so now there's no gun on third. Aaron's just back up now.
He's on mini sentries too, so not even going to bother building up that level 3. Snipers are taking those fights over the hill. Boar does get headshot by Fallen, needs some heals, but he's not going to get any. Uber in here from the right side of hill. Zuki Ubering onto Jarrett and Scythe, but they don't get any kills so far. ODB drop in the meantime, but they're going to keep everyone alive. Triple's going deep, trying to find a kill. Can't quite get the medic that he's looking for, and that's going to be man add for Candy to work with here. No scout to defend. Fallen is on this B perch right here, so he has a lot of room to work with. They're going to end up dropping off it. Probably doesn't have a buff to work with. There's going to be Fallen finding that snipe onto Chad, though. Muma going down, as well as Scythe rocketed. So now MM going to look to go aggressive on hill.
Crescent kind of stuck in for a little bit too long, overstaying his welcome. There are a lot of players going down for KidsXO, but they have the better spawns. So look at this. Jarrett working his way through the high ground. Aaron somehow coming from side tunnel, doing 250 damage to Jarrett, 300 damage. Jarrett gets the pick. Aaron! He's crazy. He goes down for it by Boar. Wow, that was so much damage from the shotgun from the defensive engineer who was in side tunnel somehow.
Yeah, in the meantime, though, Boar got a snipe onto Triple and Aaron on the back out, so those picks going to give his team a lot of room to work with. Now he's going to get on this forward B house, so it's such a hard position to displace sniper from. That said, Joe going to find the stab onto him, so it's up to MM to decide what they want to do here, if they want to contest this in from the choke, and they're going to Uber in, try and get some damage. Chad also drops Fallen onto 2K, takes on Oblivion on that side. Re-Uber in from K&D onto Jarrett and Scythe. Scythe going to take a 1v1, but gets meat shot by Triple on the health pack area. Drops down and Jarrett 2-pipes him, so that's a trade back. Jarrett's the last person left on cart getting it cleaned up, and that repush from MM is successful. Zuki also dropped on the back end to a last-second bomb by ODB. It's exactly what they wanted.
We saw the trick on second here is to recommit from bridge, right? So Blake, Fallen, or Giraffe working their way back in from the bridge. You don't get stuff by these players dropping in from the high ground. Muma going in a little bit of ahead of his team, doesn't manage to get too much done. And now, since Aaron is down as well, this is going to be very difficult for Memento Mori to hold.
Yep, and the card is almost on the point. One tap will push it in. We got Eerie with the fists standing on it, trying to stop him getting pushed in as Aaron's Sentry level 2 gets taken down. And with all that damage coming in, they're going to cede the second point. They did get a lot more than they bargained for out of that hold, though, for MM. And Blake's going to be on 90% Uber, so they're going to be happy with that hold overall. 4 minutes, 22 seconds on the clock through 2.
Realistically, that was maybe 30 seconds on the clock. You know, that's a lot of time on a 7 or so minute map like this. You know, 4:22 coming into the longest point here, some will say, others will say maybe last is the longest, but this is a solid showing from Memento Mori so far, and they're still here with even Ubers on both teams.
Watch out for Muma in that side, getting reflected by Marty. Not even going to get in. Demento as well getting flamed out. So that 2K from the flank doing big for Marty. Joe going to get that step onto Boar. And there's the forward Uber coming in from the defense here. MM trying to get some kills. They find the kills onto Blake and Scratchy. Mini going down as well. And they force Zukima's Uber in a bad position for them. So that's a big play from MM to get that aggression down on defense.
ODB nukes Jarrett on the cart just as that Uber is starting off, so Jarrett isn't even able to be saved by Zukima. That's what won that fight so strongly in favor of Memento Mori. Now they're taking a little bit of a peek forward, seeing what they can get.
Yeah, Marty patrolling the Sea House, gonna deter Demento from even rolling out there, as it looks like Candy are rolling out towards Card. There's War finding the opening pick onto Triple. Kresnik is the trade, some rockets from ODB taking him down on that bend area. Need to get a health pack though. We see ODB walking in on Erie's bucket, and this soldier in bucket's a big deal. He's gonna jump up and get some damage down. He has a lot of positioning forward. MMR really backed up, but following that snipe onto Boar is very important for positioning. It's gonna be about going in. Demento, his decoy gets heard, gets a sap on the gun, gets that one at least, but gets taken down.
Muma goes on an adventure of a lifetime, but gets Blake in the end. Muma was behind for so long that he distracted them away from the cart, and then after Memento Mori decides, you know what, it's been 20 seconds of not seeing Muma, screw it, he's gone. He comes in and drops the medic. This is now 100% Uber advantage for Zukima. The car pressure coming in. Morty blasting off the cliff, but Kresnik survives. No, Marty going for the chase underneath. No, Kresnik's able to live here. Jarrett and Syath getting some picks too in favor of Kids Next Door, so this is a cart capture. But look at this space that Marty makes, shoving them off the cart. This point would have been captured if Marty didn't go for that play. So even though Kids Next Door lost, Marty buys his team another 25 seconds. More time for them to get respawners. Aaron's building the gun.
Yeah, unfortunately for M, though, Blake had to use Uber and Zuki didn't, so now it's going to be a full Uber ad for Candy going into the last push. We're 6:35 through 3. That's bordering on average time so far, so if Candy can get this in one fell swoop, they'll be probably happy with this. And they're already in tiles, they're going to Uber out onto last, see what they can find. No kills presenting themselves yet. We got Kresnik and Jarrett underneath. Muma bombing up top, gets the gun, but nothing else. Going to crater to his death. We're going to find that snipe before he gets taken down by Triple, and there's Eerie getting that spy kill on the back end. So now it's a lot of damage coming in onto MM's combo. They're getting jumped on. But the re-push in from the spawn gates is doing a lot to Candy. They're trapped in the main area. Good reflect from Oblivion to save his team damage.
It's a bit of a weird use from Kids Next Door. They used while Memento Mori was still in spawn. But then Memento Mori walks out of spawn while the Uber's still going, so it kind of worked. So now Memento Mori down just 1 or 2 players. They're kind of getting their pub hold together. Blake coming up on 100% Uber.
Giraffe got the stickies onto Muma right before he got a rocket onto his own soldier, so DB's life gets spared there. Demento getting caught out in the back line, not gonna get anything there. As Candy, they do have Tao's control, and they have War up there as well. Always a dangerous threat. Gun gonna get pushed back by Aaron, gonna replace that one somewhere safer. Bomb in here from the soldier, trying to get damage. Takes down the soldier, or the heavy with help from Triple, and Kresnik going down Uber onto the cart all the way around. Zukima unfortunately died with 99%. Candy were banking on that Uber coming up midway through the push, but they don't find it in the end.
Oh, what a huge play. If Zukima gets that Uber at this point, just wins for Kids Next Door. Now Memento Mori here for some picks in the backline. Joe and Triple getting a little bit greedy with their now 15-second respawns. That's what you get when you learn that your actions have consequences.
Yeah, so now with that, we're going to see MM trying to stabilize here. Both medics going to be about 50% Uber into this defense. Gun is set up level 3 for Aaron. Fallen as well, scoped on it. Going to find that pick onto Jarrett. Big play by Fallen. Demento with that Enforcer. Going to see if he can take down the gun. He is going to get that one. So that tech coming in clutch to get that kill. Fallen still here though. He's making a big threat. Boar going to take the first sniper fight of this one. Takes down Eerie before Aaron. So Boar doing a lot of work. There's a third kill onto Marty. A lot of kills in here from K&D. And they got another one into ODB Scythe on a 6k of his own.
It's a lot of kills, but not a lot of cap time. Blake coming up in the Uber, but Zuki just barely beats him to it. Blake has his Uber, but no one's around. This is 3 with Pyro on cart. Yeah, Blake just reflecting all that spam, getting it in for his team with, I mean, honestly, it seemed like some good play, but 855 isn't that good, huh?
It feels like that ended pretty unceremoniously for MM. Like, they dropped all their players to boar snipes and picks. They lost the gun to the Enforcer, and then they just had to Uber, but they had no one to pop on. So it feels rough for them in the end, but a 9-minute defense is good, all things considered. It's better than average for your defense. Candy probably not going to be the most happy with that, but they'll probably take it in the end, considering how bad their initial last pushes went.
Mission begins in 30 seconds.
He had such a great avenue to win this round, which would be a huge statement against Kids Next Door. And again, I can only speak from my perspective, where when things weren't working on Upward, the people started arguing. There's a lot of different ideas flying by. So if Kids Next Door does lose this first round, it's going to be quite difficult for the rest of this map.
Yeah, we'll have to see if they can hold for that 9-minute defense. They've done it before. They can probably do it again. And we'll have to see what MM want to do on this push. They got 9 minutes to make this one work. And we are playing best of 3 on the stopwatch. Is this a pause we're in? Amazing.
No, I think this is actually the best hold of all time, where Kids Next Door have not lost any health and also are keeping
They
them locked and
froze the
spawned with their
server.
minds. It's like an emotional DDoS, really.
Well, at least that gives us some time to catch our breath here. Chill out a bit. We are, for those of you just joining us in, this is the second map of the playoff match. First quarter or semifinal matchup, Candy and MM, second and third seed. MM took their own map of product just now, 3-2. They are up 1-0, and Candy need Upward to stay alive in the series.
I was happy. It was very important, I think, for Memento Mori not to make any glaring mistakes on this one. We did sort of go through the motions where they had a solid first hold, second hold, third hold, fourth hold. No crazy steamrolls or anything. The only opportunity the Kids Next Door had to really just take a point for free, essentially, was when they had full Uber advantage going into last, but the Uber came out too early on not enough people, and Memento Mori had enough time to get all their spawners and commit from the high ground that they just inherently receive as being the defenders of the pit.
Yeah, at the end there, I don't know if the camera caught it, but as MM were trying to Uber in last desperate effort, the only person who could take a flash was Giraffe, and he tried jumping to the cart, but got blasted into the pit while Ubered. So a bit funny. I'm not sure if that death shows up on the logs because the round ended, but definitely unfortunate for him at the end of that. 9-minute hold, if you weren't here just for that one. And waiting for this unpause to come through, MM trying to push it.
One of my favorite memories, Zag, was in the grand finals of last season, where it finished on CP Steel was the decider map of the grand finals, right? And there was a guy who, a man or woman or whoever, maybe a mythical creature from the heavens, where their Twitch name was CP Steel Pit or something like that.
Yeah.
And they would say, "Yes, I hunger for more," and then would cheer every time someone fell in the pit. Now I can't see any pits even here on Upward without thinking of that wonderful experience.
Well, hey, we have had a couple pit deaths, maybe some suicides. I still know if on that first point Joe hit his death bind or if he fell into the pit. Either way, we have had some unfortunate self-destructing, and the pit has gotten a sacrifice. So maybe we'll see some more. We'll see some aggressive pirate plays. On that third hold, we saw Marty actually just say screw it, and he ran onto the cart with a heavy and a scout on it to try and air blast them off. And he stayed alive longer than he should have, but unfortunately didn't get a kill there.
I'm telling you, dude, this time of 9 minutes would have been 8.5 if Marty doesn't do that. He gives his team so much time to, or even less, right? He gives his team time to set up. And Kids Next Door had 2 or 3 people on the card, and all of them are off it, even to then heal up after. It's like such a heads up play. He does go down for last, but his team was losing that anyway. So really, really strong play, and that's the kinds of heads up stuff that I love from Marty, where we talked in Disad, he keeps Supreme Toad for our spectators at home, right? Where he keeps his combo alive in these Disads. He's making space on the flank when he's not needed in Ubers. He's here creating space when it's a completely losing situation and just is literally buying time. So I'm a big fan of many years, and I'm very impressed from this match alone.
Definitely. Now, going forward into this round, once we get this unpause going, we don't have word on exactly why we're paused, but with MM needing a push in 9 minutes to take this round, you got to wonder if they do it, right? Compared to if they do win or if they don't win, how do you think this is going to affect each team going into their next round? Because at minimum, we're going to have at least one more round of upward because we are playing that best of three. And I think momentum plays a very big part in how teams approach the new round based on how much they're able to listen to comms, what plays they're able to do. So who do you think has the better chance of winning? Say they lose this round.
Yeah, that's a great question, Zag, because I think if you're kids next door, you know in your heart, in your heart of hearts, that you're the better team on this map. So if you stick to your fundamentals, if you stick to your plays, stay calm, stay cool and collected, that you'll still win one or probably both of the rounds. But if they get too in their heads about it, right, and they try dissecting each of the small problems that happen along the way instead of focusing on what's happening now, then they're not going to pull out this win, I think. So I think it's especially important for Memento Mori. If they get this point now, they are such a favorite in this match. But for Kids Next Door, they are the favorites to win this round even. So I think they just have to keep their heads on straight.
That's fair to think. You think that they're favorites to hold the 9 minutes as well? Like this is their round to lose, Candy?
Well, Zagron, in Kids Next Door's heart of hearts, they know they can hold this. In my heart of hearts, I kind of feel like Memento Mori is just going to get a big play and win this round. If I can be honest with you, and you're my friend, I hope we can be honest. If I can be honest, I think Memento Mori can win this. I think they will win this.
Yeah, and with that, we are unpaused here. Finally, we can stop stalling. As the gates are opening up right now, we're going to see how MM choose to approach their sack waves. Standard rollout so far for Joe. Gonna actually try to decloak early. He gets piped out immediately. Good find by Jarrett to keep his sniper alive. Or surfs out explosive as well. So that pick doing wonders for him, staying forward. And now it's gonna be the walkout. Got 4 people on cart right now for MM. ODB trying to bomb over. Makes it to playground. Someone gets headshot in the meantime, and now it's going to be a rejump from ODB once they have players ready to follow up. Gets sticky down immediately though, so no soldier going to be in the sack, and it hasn't actually happened yet.
Oh, Fallen getting the pick onto board. That's the green light, right? That's like pretty.
Yeah, Blake's already out.
Medic, that's the best pick. Wow.
MM looking to push this as fast as they can, falling it, rocket off the high ground, probably cleaned up by this revolver. Demento getting that kill, Joe going down as well, so no pick classes in for MM, and they're stalling a bit now. Blake, he doesn't have Uber, what happened? He's 55%?
Yeah, I must have missed something. Oh no, Zach, I think you're right.
That's so unfortunate for MM if he was the disconnect, because they had an opening, but unfortunately they're only at 80% Uber right now for whatever reason, and they're going to lose draft as well, so they're going to have to back off of this. Blake needs someone to charge Uber on. Finally going to meet up with Fallen as Bork gets a snipe onto Aaron draft as well, needing to get... Yeah, there's the unpause. It must have been something going on right there. Either way, going to be looking to reset a bit here. Now they finally have Uber, but Eerie going to get picked off in the meantime. Bork, second kill of the defense. Now they need to get Giraffe up here.
Yeah, that was a great opening. Now the Uber works their way in. Giraffe and Blake making some pressure, making some space. The gun is only level 1 from Scratchy. Joe takes the teleporter. He's butter knifing Scratchy, goes down for it, but the gun is sapped at least. Oh, it lives on 10 HP. Scratchy keeping it alive, doing his due diligence as an engineer. But there are some solid numbers in favor of Memento Mori.
Yeah, ODB and Marty got some big damage in on the players with that gun sap, so they have a lot of picks to work with. Marty going to drop in the end to Jarrett's 5th pipe kill, but Fallen on the back end going to take down Boar and Scratchy. Very important picks. The engineer's not going to be able to set up as well. Finds one onto Kresnik, so Fallen 3 kills on this offense, and we can't see the time right now because I need to HUD reload after that pause, but I'd say that's about even with what K&D had, and now they're going to be looking to push forward into Hill.
It's a very solid space here, and compared to last time, there are no players here inside tunnel, right? Or in Kids Next Door, we're taking their aggressive push over Hill. Memento Mori was able to keep some players alive, stall out that push and stuff. Demento, though, knows exactly where Blake is. Demento trying to see what he can do here because Zakima does have 100% Uber. Blake only on 80. Demento going in. Oh, gets a butter knife onto the Giraffe. We take those.
Oh, Blake's
now on
20
20
from a pipe. Yeah, we'll have to see what MM decide to do. Fallen's here alone forward. Team not giving him the memo. They were backing off that. Now just solo Uber onto Triple. Seeing can find a cleanup. Takes on Oblivion with ease. Going to try and find a kill onto Jarrett. Great meat shot from Triple. Going to get that kill as well. Ooh, Sentry getting healed up by the rescue range of Scratchy. Triple has to drop down off that one. So now Kresnik with the beams going to be walking out here. Fully overhealed Heavy is a massive threat, as well as Scythe here, ready to clean up on whatever damage he does. But the respawns for MM are very good that people drop up in the window. Gun gets taken down from some spam. We're going to find a constellation pick onto Aaron, but that's going to be all she wrote for the second point here. MM taking that one. 5:30 left to cap 2 points.
That's the board we're looking for, right? Runs in front of his entire team through a tight choke point, gets a pick on a cart pusher, and backs back out. I mean, this guy is like no one else. Now he's taking his push through roller coaster, standing on the
Movement in
point
the backline took out Blake in the house, was hiding up top, and he gets out alive somehow too. So with that, Candy gonna have a 90% ad to work with, and MM gonna be left wondering what happened. They're trying to sack some people in right now, but we do see ODB isn't offering for the pit god in that one.
He sent into the skybox, juggled like a clown. Do clowns juggle, or is that a juggler? I'm not so familiar with my
skill set
circus
that you could
tricks,
have.
but regardless, Memento Mori is focused on getting the point capture for now, but leaving Zukima on the 100% advantage with 4 minutes 40 on the clock. That's okay, but if you're just if you're Blake and you have to just build here, everyone's going to be gunning for you. He's committing out to the hill now.
They're letting the cart get up a bit too far for free. They do have Uber advantage to work with if they need to, but they should at least stop from getting up the second bend here. It does look like Triple's going to make it up, and the Uber gets forced from Zukima in no position to do anything with it. So I don't know what happened to Candy's calling there, but they get nothing with their Uber, and the cart's already up the second bend.
Looks like Zukima took a bit of damage, but even Jarrett just goes to try and clear off cart, but all that happens is Triple backs up, and they can go back later, and he even goes down for it.
Yeah, Draft gonna get that kill, and now with the Devilman dead, they're gonna run in. Triple 6th kill of his life. Gonna get that kill onto Kresnik. Gun getting stickied by Draft, see if he can even take this one out. It is getting wrangled. Never mind, headshot from Fallen's gonna end that one, and that third push is insanely fast for MM off that botched defense by Candy.
Yeah, that's super clean, right? This recommit when you're on the low ground and things. There's a lot down for Kizak's actually. So look at this, Memento Mori working their way through Spiral, now into tiles already. So this is a very different approach to last, right? Where Memento Mori is taking the high ground, playing it slower. They do have this noticeable difference as well, of course. So a little bit more inclined to take their time, but now Zukima and Kresnik, Jarrett opting to hold the corner together.
Yeah, they are down 2 with Muma and Dementa going down, so that's a lot of people peeking up from upper, doing damage to these Candy combo members on low ground. Scythe gonna drop to a sticky as well. Jarrett dropping to a rocket, so much spam, funneling into this lower choke point. Kresnik and Boar dropping as well. They're losing everyone. Zukima has Uber, but no one left to use it on. It's just him, Oblivion, and Muma. Never mind, Oblivion goes down to Fallen. They dropped everyone. Their cart is getting pushed into last tier.
Wow, Memento Mori peeked 5 doorways at the same time. Kids like didn't know where to look, didn't know where to shoot. Everyone just dies around them. The Uber goes up onto Scratchy and Spawn.
We're done. Round's over. Very fast time from MM there to take the first round of Upward. I have some information that I always talk about with some of the Candy players, like when they discuss Upward. A lot of them aren't sold on holding middle, like main on upward, or last rather, where you hold the choke point on last. That's an example of why it's bad there, is because if you get overwhelmed from all those angles, you're just going to drop all those players. There's nothing you can do. You're just funneled into that choke point, you're eating damage, and you look like fools doing it.
Oh, I thought you meant they opted not to hold last, just give it up instead.
Holding it in main.
Yeah, right. Wow, yeah, what a strong showing from Memento Mori. Even either Blake used in Spawn, as some of our friends in the chat have mentioned, but he likely was a disconnect with the timing that the pause came in. We can't say for sure, but for you to not even have an Uber for all of first and then to win the round, that's saying something.
They won it convincingly too. They had 1 to 2 more pushes left in them if that one didn't work out, and that was just brutal for Candy at the end there. They're going to wonder what happened. They got the rug pulled out from under them real quick.
Somehow they just decided, okay, we kill them now. And they pushed, again, like I said, like there were guys in main, there were guys in Spiral, there were guys on the bridge between Spiral and Tiles. There's a guy in Tiles, someone crates, everyone just at the same time, peeking on the side of Memento Mori. So Kids Next Door, again, has to use in spawn on their engineer, and that was the Uber. And as we're taking a look at the logs here, I'm noticing Fallen Lord again is the top performer from Memento Mori on 21 kills, but noticeably only 8 deaths.
Yeah, keeping that sniper alive is key to success on Upward. Even if he's just alive, peeking a sideline, even if he's not killing anyone, you have to respect a player like Fallen Lord, where you're not going to be able to just peek into him. He'll hit someone for a body shot, he'll rail a quick headshot onto a demo man, and with that, the pushes stall, he gets the frags in the end, and so much impact from Fallen this entire game. He's probably MVP, even though MM have had a ton of great players. Fallen playing out of his mind tonight.
And you know I'm a medic main, so shout out to my homies Blake and Zukim on 2 deaths each only. But yeah, you know what I'm seeing here, Zag, is Erie's 13 kills to Kresik's 3. That's not quite what you want to see as a heavy on payload. Dementa with 5 and 15
The funny
as well.
thing is their DPM is the exact same.
Oh wow.
I don't know how he gets 10 more kills with the same DPM. It's just a lot of chip kills, which, I mean, as long as he's not dying and doing what a heavy should, which is taking control at key places, then Erie's playing noticeably well. But, you know, I'm not sure if, like, Candy going to look at Kresnik's performance particularly and say, like, you know, here's the issue. I think they have to look across the board and wonder what they're exactly doing wrong. By the way, speaking of popping Uber in spawn, I have word that Blake did pop Uber in spawn on offense. So... Even with that, they kind of rolled the round, so boding very badly for Candy in this round. They're going to be starting off on defense again, hoping to improve on what just happened. Oh yeah, pause again, by the way. Woo!
Yeah, while we're chilling, I still got an eye on the stats for some of the ones that we didn't quite show on stream. It's a little bit of juicy information here from your friend Rogue. Is the damage was actually almost the same, where Kids Next Door had like 34,000 damage to Memento Mori's 35,000, right? But Candy got 75 kills to Memento Mori's 100. Like, that's a big difference.
Yeah, it's about when the damage comes and what is good damage and what is garbage damage. Stat padding damage, there's no room for it in a team's analysis, so with MM getting all the successful pushes, you got to think that they did a really good job at focusing targets in the right times. And fortunately for all our viewers here, very short pause. We are going to be into this game soon. Not going to be waiting for a year like last time. We're going to run out of things to talk about at that rate.
Wow, even Giraffe says, Jacob, where are you in the chat? Come on, dude, you got to show up on that scoreboard. ODB working his way in, slams a huge rocket onto board, brings board down to 9 health. That's quite the opening, but doesn't get the kill.
I like what Joe's he's trying to look for the heavy on this upper area. If you can find the jump stat, that's a really big pick, but you can get found out and shredded, so Kresnik getting on the board early in this round. ODB looking to play behind this rock, try and jump forward. Jared's going to spam him with stickies. He's taking very low as to jump back. He killed Demento on the back end as well, so both spies not having any luck so far.
Bro, after Giraffe gave the call out saying, Demento, where are you? Marty instantly finds Demento, sets him on fire. ODB cleans up with a rocket. This man cannot get in the game.
Yeah, Joe running the Enforcer from the get-go. I actually like that. He's trying to spam the gun, and with that, Joe's going to take down that gun. So, adaptation, you're running that from the start here. As now, MM looking to push forward, trying to get some damage on the players on Playground. There's ODB taking down Kresnik on high ground, even though Jarrett does pipe out Fallen. They now have Playground control. Oh, but Jarrett and Muma combined for explosive damage. Take down ODB and take Aaron very low. Here's the Uber in MM's combo, trying to solo onto the Demo Man. It's popped out a multi from K&D, and it's ending at about the same time for each team. Triple is now in, trying to take some heals in, but the banner is here for Muma, going to be giving his team that defensive buff.
Very interesting. Oh, getting some huge rockets from Muma onto Fallen Lord, who manages to back up and stay alive. Muma overstaying his welcome now, and yeah, gets blasted by Fallen Lord at this little bit of a short range. Kids Next Door kind of overstaying their welcome. Look how close Memento Mori is. Aaron working his way around the corner. Triple has the cart so close.
You can't give Fallen an inch. She's going to take a mile. He already has 3 kills in this backup, trying to find Zukimo, but Zuki escapes just in time with his life. Gun goes down, but another Fallen 3k on first, and they cap it. Seems like deja vu. A minute 45 too. Kind of deja vu.
And Kresnik tries to go for some sort of a play, hiding in the dispenser, but now dies with a 20-second respawn, holding second here. Both teams are on just about even Ubers. ODB trying to make some space, spamming Boar off the end.
Space made. They're off the high ground. So Candy gonna get pushed back immediately. Drop stab in from Joe. He can't get to Zuki in time. Gonna pop up solo onto Jarrett, but Marty doing a good job of air blasting. Does end up picking up the Marty kill in the end, but the counter is in from MM. Giraffe takes down Scythe early in that one. They're getting in on the side, pipes down Zukima. Giraffe going ham in the solo Uber, gets those clutch kills, and now MM controls the hill. It's just Fallen fighting Oblivion right now. It's gonna be a trade. You know, good for you, but second looks lost.
You know what? With how MM is playing these kind of disadvantaged fights, you know, losing 1 or 2 people, they just full commit. You almost wonder if Blake used his spawn on purpose just to motivate his team to go for some big plays while he was building.
Candy went for a bit of a last-second contest, and it was a bit ill-advised or ill-planned because they lost everyone. No one was really ready to do that together, and you know it's only 3 up now. Zuki, Boar, and Oblivion, the only players. Scythe gets his respawn timer, and Boar railing off some headshots means they do have some time to reset. But bomb forward, Boar's railing off headshots onto all these card players. They need some heals fast.
This is that part of the match right after Memento Mori. You kind of forget that Boar is on this team. Actually, Fallen remember.
Never mind, you have Fallen.
It removes him from the
Why would
team.
you need Boar when you have Fallen? There we go. There's the opening for MM walking forward into third here. We got ODB and Joe coming out of the side house. They're bombing over in conjunction with the Uber. Fallen and Joe are the first casualties though, so MM have no pick classes in this. They do get the gun and the kill onto Oblivion, and they have a lot of space to work with as well. So it was only 2 down for KD, but they had not very many avenues quite yet. They're going to be able to re-push out here with Scythe and Jarrett leading the charge. They have to watch out for Eerie Person from House though.
Oh, very aggressive Uber from Scythe and Jarrett with Tsukima working their way down
Marty's
the slope
so
all the way in, but look at that. He eats the entire thing.
He ate and he stayed alive by hiding the dispenser at the end, so Marty gonna keep his life and save his medic on that one. And now Blake on 50% Uber to Zuki's 20. They didn't get what they wanted from that. That said, Triple is gonna get killed by Scratchy in the end, though. Cart is up the second bend and there's stickies on top of it, so we're gonna have to clear those out. Scythe looking around the sea house, trying to get out with his life. Ooh, escapes with 1 HP. Aaron can't quite get that one. Okay, Joe, walk on the stickies. Don't let the fist
Stick is
clear
clear
out for you. Yeah, stick is clear. Let's go. Pushed up the cart. Candy have to block this now, but Jarrett takes a lot of damage. I believe there's a headshot from Fallen, and the cart is up to the last bend. Candy can't contest this in time, and that's an early third cap from MM.
Wow, Eerie Person with the Fist of Steel on the cart. Those let you take less damage as a heavy. It's a little bit of armor for you with a percent damage reduction, so he's not able to get spammed off, and he manages to get the capture down. 416 for all 3 points so far, Zag.
That's an amazing time for MM so far through 4. They're looking good, but Candy do have the towels hold this time. They're not stuck in main purgatory. They have the good hold, and they have Boar up there too. Gonna take down Aaron immediately. That's a car push it down. Uber in here from the spiral staircase, trying to force it out from Tsukima, and they do get it in time. Jarrett gonna have to go the long way around to meet up with his team, but Scythe with a cleanup kill onto Eerie. But that's a triple, and Giraffe have some key kills onto the engineer and demo man of the defending team. So now they have players in the backline. We see ODB jumping in. He can't find the last rocket onto Blake or onto Tsukima, and Zuki gets in spawn, resubs. Scythe and Kresnik are cleaning up those stragglers now.
Oh, Joe just decloaked on Tsukima at the last second when he was still 10 HP in the spawn, but Tsukima, he's like the wind. He makes it back into the spawn door untouched. And now it's Kresnik alone in this upper area. He just gets overwhelmed, goes down for it. Muma and Scythe decide to retake it and avenge their lost brother. But they get traded for it too.
Taking down those flank classes of Candy, and now Marty's in on the front line of Candy. Gets popped up. Jarrett taken down by Eerie Person at the end of the spray. Giraffe is traded by the Spy, but more kills coming in for MM as they're dropping out of tiles, getting all these spawners. They're all over Candy's spawn, and they're only 1 up. It's just Kresnik on this hold. He's in upper, but he can't get on the cart, and that is the very quick cap from MM here. 5:52 in under 6-minute time, and they're looking like the undisputed better team here.
Alright, if you're K&D, what sort of openings are you looking for to cap in less than 6 minutes?
It's rough. You need Boar to get on the scoreboard more than he is. Like, both snipers don't have the most points now because that went really fast, and when the game goes fast, sniper can't really get set. But Fallen's still 10 points to Boar's 5. He's winning all the key duels that he needs. He's getting the picks in the clutch time. And Triple's been playing extremely well this entire game. He always gets in on these Ubers with Giraffe. MM just are flowing like a machine. Their Ubers are getting everything they want. Giraffe's playing well. It looks really tough if you're Candy to find anything here.
Mission begins in 30 seconds.
Yeah, and this is, of course, it's double elimination, right? So if Kids Next Door do get eliminated here, they're still in the playoffs. So this just determines who goes into the winners finals, right? And who loses their first life in this double elimination. So for Kids Next Door, this does have some very strong implications where you need this win for playoffs, but it's not over if you lose this as well.
3.
Yeah, that said, they're definitely trying their best to win this here, but MM, they're feeling confident, they're feeling good, and they're in prime position to close this out very quickly. So with that, we're going to be starting this next round here. MM on defense, ODB playing forward with that black box and battalions. I got Joe jumping on the rock, trying to get some damage onto Jarrett. One more shot and he's going to take him down, so very advanced play from the Spy there, not just staying close, doing some work.
I'm keeping my eye on Demento to make an opening here, the Spy for Kids Next Door. He goes actually all the way back to the red spawn to maybe take out the teleporter or to take the teleporter. He does tap it and get the teleporter down, so the respawns are going to be very long for the defensive side. But Triple just multi players on the small hill here. Takes out
Oh my god, Joe, he's in the back
pick.
line. Revolver's down scratching and stabs Jarrett and starts out with his life too. ODB gonna trade with Amuma there, so that is a soldier trade on that end, but a lot of kills in for MM here, and there hasn't really been a true sack from Candy. They've tried to just get people out and about. Hasn't gone too well for them. All the spawners are gonna be up and ODB can jump back even though the teleporter's down, so it's we have to see when they want to get Zuki out of spawn here, because remember, they only have 5 minutes left.
I saw a very interesting soldier duel where they trade each other, where Muma has one of my favorite playstyles in Highlander ever, but ODB might have some of the best DM in
Muma got
Highlander
immediately
ever.
body shot by Fallen 150 and he can't jump anymore. Uber in from KD, they're gonna just be going on to Jarrett and Oblivion here. Counter in Blake onto Giraffe. It's a solo so far, so that's one looking a bit better for them once they get this flash. But Demento catches him on the end of that. Giraffe gets taken down. Demento and Muma are the trades on that side. Jarrett is getting sniped by Fallen. Fallen his third kill and he stays alive. Playground is had by Eerie. Eerie versus Scythe, and Scythe comes out ahead of that one. Scratchy gonna be dropping down onto the combo, but Aaron with 3 Wrangler kills gonna be holding the fort down.
If you're MM, don't be deceived here. You don't have a teleporter and your respawns are so long, you can't really hold this without an Uber for the next 35 seconds. Right now, they're opting to stay. Fallen Lord locking it down.
Why not stay?
Supreme
Fallen's on a
Toad and
4K,
ODB,
no
they're
one's on him.
but
They can't do it.
But man, if Candy gets like 2 picks, then this is a point capture. Now, Candy is just running in, Oblivion's through, Dimension's going for a play. Actually, Oblivion goes
this
down
is
instantly.
looking rough. When your Pyro's botting into the enemy sentry gun all alone, you gotta wonder if something's wrong in the comms, whether or not they're, feeling really demoralized. It's gonna be a full left push from KD here off Uber. They're 85%. They're all going onto this rock. Demento's on the gun. He's gonna sap that one in time. Gets that one killed, but they're not trying to jump on Playground. They're getting denied. Eerie mulching 2 on that side. Joe as well stabbing Vor. Fallen has free reign if he can get around, but he gets taken down as well. So this is a very chaotic fight. Zuki gets his Uber up, and it's better than the side of MM. They're going to look to push forward, take down the gun, and they have kills, but the banner from ODB is doing a lot of work on the rejump.
That's so huge from Blake manages to hit an arrow on ODB, who is at 20 health, and that allows ODB to push forward with his banner. Now look at this, Agron. They're pushing back over the hill, picking off all these other players, keeping them spaced out off
Aaron
the
on
card.
a
Now there's
5K
3
with those
minutes.
revenge crits. And ODB gonna get his 3rd takedown at Demento. 6, and there's Fallen finding stuff with Suzuki. This one, I'm calling it, this one's over. They can't get anything done now. They're at Uber disad. Yeah, and I'm just gonna back out with the full Uber ad. They're gonna back out with their engineer, and this is, they're walking back in. This is trolling, but why not?
What if we kissed on upward first? Just JK.
What if? Fallen's even walking back in. They're like, screw it, get back in here. We're hard holding.
All right, 2.5 minutes. Now, you've heard him on the scoreboard. You've heard him on the, you've heard him in the server. Now you gotta hurt their feelings. That's the name of the game.
Yeah, Eerie is killed though. Zuki gets revolvered by Joe. Just can't stay alive. Uber in from Blake here. This is getting a bit embarrassing if you're KD. They can't get this first push. They're all dying. Ooh, it's not looking good. They're all gonna get cleaned up. And Blake stays alive as well in the post. So another Uber ad for them. Eerie is dead. Joe is dead. They're not gonna have those players for a while because no teleporter. But this is still looking very good. Are they finally gonna get out? 3 are out. 2 are staying. Fallen's staying. Fallen's getting another frag.
It's there's really no hope. Even Giraffe
Literally
and
half their
Aaron are
players
some of
left
the best
because
picks.
why not, and half their players are staying because of why not. Fallen, another step on Tabor. He's going off. Fallen took his apple juice today. He serves
And,
out too.
You would have to essentially have ×3 for the entire rest of the map in order to win this, but they only just now got first.
I
It
think it's
doesn't even
impossible
change
to
any
win
of the
times 3.
spawns.
I think it's impossible.
Listen, Zagron, okay? And Dolphin and all of the friends in the chat who are listening, don't forget, Rogue.KND died for this.
You're gonna send that one home. Here's Oblivion flanking on the side. He takes out Fallen. That's the kill of the match. Need to take that one down. Joe gonna clean him up. Yeah, there's not really much left to say. Candy are pushing forward, but with ×1 on the cart, it's kind of clear they're not intent on winning this game.
Oh, Tsukima uses the ham Uber! Moore gets a pick with the ham! He's going for more, gets a body shot onto Blake, not able to clean it up with the sniper Uber.
Yeah, we're
but
done here.
Nice try.
Hey, killing Marty with a ham is that's really good. What is that taunt from Scythe? I've never seen that taunt before. Alright, we're DM fest in here. GGs are called in chat. Only 40 seconds, not possible. So with that, MM take the 2-0 on KND's map from a close 3-2 win on their own to demolishing KND on Upward. MM have taken this playoff match, and they're going to be in that upper bracket finals.
What do you think happened there, Zach? Because honestly, we got through the first 4 rounds of product, right? And we were still from the perspective that it's anyone's game. After, like, halfway through that next round of product, everything goes to Memento Mori's favor.
It's hard to say exactly what's happening. I mean, I have a bit of information that I'm not going to go too into detail about, but like, it feels like Candy probably aren't, gunning for this one as hard as MM might be. MM are putting in work, and they're a very good team, don't get me wrong, but it just looks like Candy's hearts were half in it, like in Upward especially.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't even like Memento Mori got lucky or anything. They definitely earned it. They definitely deserved this win from what they showed us, especially on Kids Next Door's map pick. I mean, Kids Next Door were much closer on Memento Mori's map pick of all things, so well deserved to Memento Mori.
Yeah, definitely came in as the big, strong team here. They're definitely better than Candy in this match, and they're going to look to carry this momentum forward. I don't know what the result of the other match is. I'm going to assume that with Sandblast back, Cuties won it, but I'll have to check it. Either way, MM are looking very strong going into that matchup, and one more match win, and they're going to be a minimum top 2 in the season. They're definitely going to be gunning for that first place spot, and they probably have the guts to take it.
Yep, so this puts Memento Mori into the upper bracket finals, where if they win that, they go into the grand finals. If they lose it, they go into the lower bracket finals. So Kids Next Door is on 1 life left in our double elimination. Memento Mori still have both of their lives. So it all comes down to next week when we see our first team eliminated from playoffs of Season 7.
Yep. Double elimination. Candy have one more chance, like you mentioned, and they're gonna if they want to come back into these playoffs, they have to look at their play and make some changes because they're not looking like they have what it takes to beat Cuties and MM going into these matches. We have the stats on screen there. MM played phenomenally. They played out of their minds. Fallen top right that last. I'm pretty sure Fallen top right every half we played. I'm gonna give him MVP just because he was playing out of his mind tonight. I've said it time and time again. The rest of MM, phenomenal job. Triple played very well every single round. Joe did his job on every single point. It was really just a class act. Great showing from them.
Yeah, and like we discussed a bit earlier, there's some players on KND that were just a little bit missing, kind of absent from the scoreboard at different times. So looks like that made all the difference. When everyone on Memento Mori shows up, not everyone on KND shows up. These essentially perfectly matched teams get tipped completely in the favor of whoever has more players fragging out.
Yeah. And I've received a bit of word from the other match. Apparently, Fridge did win on product, so Cutie's looking a bit sus on that one. They're losing that one. Apparently, Cuties took the first round on Upward. Maps are apparently mirrored so far, but Fridge has a 4-minute cap in the second round of Upward, so
It
who
really
knows?
mirrored. What the?
If things go like they can go, we might see the 3rd and 4th seeds advance to upper bracket finals, which would probably be the first time that's ever happened in Highlander, like ever.
Going into the season, many thought that Kids Next Door and Memento Mori would be the best, and Cuties come through and have a flawless season out of not to so much of a surprise, but at least it was unexpected. So now, if Kids Next Door in the lower brackets, when maybe they were the favorites, Memento Mori, and who knows who else going into the upper brackets, this might be the closest playoffs we've seen in a very long time.
Yeah, we got combined logs on the screen right now, and if I'm not, seeing things, that's Fallen Lord with a 79 and 35 KD and 800 DPM. That is crazy. The damage might be a bit off, apparently, which I would, 800 is a bit much. But even so, that KD is correct, and when you're fragging 80 when not even dying half that much, that's a fantastic night for Fallen.
Yeah, I do believe that the damage is doubled in the logs here, so everyone just divide it by 2, grab your calculators. Think a little bit for yourselves, and enjoy, though, the strong performance where, again, we do see that these demo men putting in pretty much equal damage, but look at
their
this.
kills and deaths are switched.
Exactly. Giraffe has 20 more kills and 20 less deaths. That's massive. Even if Fallen Lord goes even with Boar, which he absolutely did not, then you would still expect Memento Mori to win from such a strong outperformance from a combo member.
Yeah, definitely. Overall, I'm pretty sure you can look down the table, every single player played better than their opposition, especially on Upward.
Yeah, and these logs are a bit inflated from that last round with people messing around, having
Having
some
some fun, yeah.
But the moral of the story is still can be gleaned from these logs here.
Yep. And another update from that upward match, Cuties versus Fridge. Fridge took that round, but they got a 4-minute cap, so we're tied 1-1 on upward. If Fridge take that last round, then that's a 2-0 in favor of Refrigerator, which is not what anyone could say that would be expected. So keep an eye out for that one going forward. And we can get ready to close out this cast here because we've gotten the point across. definitely the better team tonight, looking strong going into upper bracket finals.
Wait, Zagron, hold the presses, hold the phones.
Do we have?
No, even better. I have a man on the inside with the intel on what really happened on the first round where Blake used in Spawn. Apparently, there was a cat involved, which happened to jump on a mouse while he was in Spawn. And that is the culprit of the force on first.
Imagine if they lose that round, right? Because obviously you can't replay that because it's not a bug, it's a cat jumping on you, which is technically your fault for not securing your area, but that's a hell of a story to tell, where a cat forced your Uber and then you still...
I didn't put my seatbelt on my cat, guys. Sorry, can we pause?
Yeah, my cat forced my Uber and then we still capped against Candy in, 6:30?
Yeah, you know what? It's so funny because my intel said that they were super tilted from getting forced in Spawn, right? But honestly, Memento Mori, like we saw, when they're put against the wall like this, they're like, screw it, we just need to do something right now. But they have such good DM that they make it work anyway, so they still won the push even without an Uber, and that was the determining factor for Memento Mori for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, we can go ahead and close this out here with this match. In case you're joining late, has succeeded in 2-0ing K&D. It is an upset in technicality and in what the actual standings are. So it was a 3-2 on product and a 2-0 on K&D's upwards. So through to that upper bracket finals. K&D have to fight back from the lower bracket against whoever loses the Cuties versus Fridge match, which is currently happening and is tighter than you would think.
That even means Kids Next Door is going to have a tough time in the losers bracket here against whoever they go up against, right? If Refrigerator's putting up numbers against Cuties, who knows what they could do against Kids Next Door if they get through. And of course, if you see Cuties in the lower bracket, they're out for blood. So best of luck to Kids Next Door, and for Memento Mori, we'll see you in the upper bracket finals.
Yep. And that keep watching out for that other result, and we will see the rest of you next week for that upper bracket match going on between the winner of Cuties and Fridge and Thank you all for coming out tonight to this RGL Invite Season 7 playoff match, and we'll see you next week.